I happened to be on Neighborhood Talk when I happened to see a clip featuring our brother Pharrell. And, well, he was talking about how he's not political. But then,
as we look at what's going on, the current political climate, I'm just saying I don't want to turn anybody off, but I hate politics. Like, despise them. It's a magic trick that it's not real. I don't believe in either side, because I think when you pick a side, you are only, you are inadvertently supporting division. Yeah, it's not a popular point of view, but I just gotta say, like, think about it. The wells are drying up, and okay, now the diversity's off the table, now equity's off the table, now inclusion's off the table. So that makes me ask myself, okay, so how do we survive? Well, are there black people here tonight? Yeah. And in your heart, do you think for what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? Do you want someone to support your startup because you're black or because you're the best? Right, so I think now for me it's about us having the best ambition. That's the reason why you should support these businesses. Yes, they happen to be black and brown, but it should be based on the thesis that we're the best, not because we are a total shade of a skin color. That's a point of view that I have now that I'm resting on, and if diversity, equity, and inclusion ever comes back in style, cool. But in the meantime, I'm going to focus on being the best because I can bank on that, because that's what's going to get you the position. Where, I don't want you to give me anything. I want you to panic and not let me out the room because I'm the best.
So again, Pharrell was saying he's not political. He hates politics, doesn't believe in either side. But then he goes to speak about DEI. He says, do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? He focuses on being the best. And, if it comes back, great. But black people should be focused on doing an excellent job, whether you're black or not. Okay. And to be fair, what Pharrell has done in music and fashion, he has been competitive, right? Billionaire Boys Club and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I understand where he's going. But one of his fans vehemently disagreed with his position.
Because he went on to follow that up with, you want to be hired based on how good you are at something, right? Not based on your skin color or skin tone. My brother in Christ, that's not what DEI is. And you're regurgitating talking points used by white people to oppose DEI. So you think a black pilot is just a pilot because they're black and they applied for the job, when that's not the case. It is shown that there is a lot of discrimination when going through application processes of companies. If your name is Tyrone, if your name is Muhammad, your application would not be taken seriously, regardless of how good and qualified you were, which is why DEI was put in place. If your name was Linda, if you were a woman, your application would not be taken as seriously as the Toms, the Bobs, you get what I'm saying? That's what DEI was. It wasn't, we just got to hire black people because they're black. We just have to hire women because they're women. No, we have to look at a certain amount of women applicants as well and go through the process of who's the most qualified. We have to look at people of color's application seriously and go through who is the most serious or qualified applicant.
Now, this is an actual great point, and I want to give a shout out to this brother. He RVP forever. Shout out to him. He makes, some really, really strong points. And the number one point is that DEI is not affirmative action. Now, affirmative action worked more or less. We must fill this many seats with, black Americans. If they have lower scores, then yes, we will give them or let them have entrance into, X, Y, and Z school. This was very similar to what happened with Michelle Obama, I believe, at Princeton. She did not qualify based on her SAT. She had good grades, but based on the SAT score, she did not make it. So she took up a spot for someone who actually had those grades. That's affirmative action. DEI is saying, listen, you have qualified candidates that you discriminate against on paper. Let's give these qualified people an opportunity. And one of the things that the brother mentioned was name discrimination. And those of us in the black community definitely understand what that means, especially for brothers who have black names. Quan, Daquan, the ladies are men, Shantae, LaShanta, Keisha. Now, if you're a qualified applicant and you have those names, are you going to be treated differently because of your name?
Shout out to Phil because he had posted this story about a black man who got a job interview after he changed his name on the resume from Dwight Johnson to John Jabrowski. Now he's suing them for defamation. Now the genius in question is seen here by the name of Dwight. And according to CNN, he's now launching his defamation suit against a Detroit hotel. Now, in his claim, he's stating that the hotel had offered him a job interview after he changed his name on the resume. Dwight Johnson had filed this lawsuit roughly around July 3rd. Now, between January and April, Jackson, who's 27 years old, applied to multiple positions at the Shinola Hotel in downtown Detroit, including a role in reception, according to the lawsuit. And on the website, the Shinola, I hope I'm saying that correctly, is a luxury hotel. Jackson's attorney provided CNN with a copy of Jackson's resume, which details consistent employment, including previous roles as a front desk agent in the Detroit Marriott Westin, Book Cadillac, and the David Whitney Hotel, which used the words luxury and luxurious to describe their prospective hotels. Now, after getting no response to his initial job application on April 24th, Jackson applied again, making one significant change to his application: his name. Spoiler alert, once he changed his name, he had multiple interviews in the same week. Now, Jackson's attorney stated, to be denied a job in 2024 in your hometown for the color of your skin goes beyond dollars and cents. It goes into the psyche of a person.
Now, this is a situation that actually happened. And I've seen so much content about Black Americans, African Americans being discriminated against because of their name. And also not even just Black Americans. I've heard Nigerian Americans complain about it, Africans complain about it. And so it has made me look at DEI altogether differently from, my first perspective. Let me revisit Pharrell first. Pharrell is a super talented entrepreneur. He's an excellent producer. He has a extreme work ethic. And he's able to take that work ethic into music and fashion. Not everybody is going to be him and own an empire. I believe that's where he's going with it, okay? He's going with own your own stuff or be so great that you'll get a job. Unfortunately, the problem with what Pharrell is saying is some of it is BS. The BS part is not everybody's going to give you an opportunity because you're Black, even if you are qualified. This is also true. As you can see, when the man changed his name to a Ashkenazi Jewish name, he was given absolute interviews in comparisons to the name that he used prior, and he actually filed a lawsuit. This, by the way, is in Detroit, where you have 80% of the population being Black or even more. Now, let me get back to this whole idea of Pharrell being good regardless of being Black. Now, he's mixing something similar to what DEI is, but it's not the same. What he is trying to get at is there are people out there who feel that DEI is going to give us opportunities because we are Black, okay? And so some people can misconstrue it as that. We can look at DEI as some form of entitlement because, okay, you got to hire a certain amount of Black candidates, okay, or look at that, and we should be good enough regardless, okay? So I want to get back to that point. Yes, we also need to stop believing that people owe us something because we are Black. As we are seeing now, that is changing. I mean, DEI is gone, affirmative action already left, and you're seeing the attitude of, some of these white supremacist groups in the country's position on a lot of this stuff as a whole. These programs, and just in general, it's forcing Black people to build their own ecosystem. And I think that's where the conversation should have went, because Pharrell is building his own ecosystem. He wants to work with Blacks and, telling people what you should do X, Y, and Z. Nobody owes Blacks anything, okay? At least that's how the world feels. If we want Black talent and Black entrepreneurship, and we want it to be merit-based, we are going to have to create that system ourselves. There's no way around it. We're going to have to create that. And I believe that maybe this is what his larger point was, is like, listen, be so good regardless of your race, because I'm so tired of people asking for the hookup and hookup cultures and things like that. Yet the brother had a better point about what DEI is for. But ultimately, if you don't own what you have, and if you don't give yourself the opportunities in your community, you're gonna be screwed. Every other group understands this. I'm in Uganda right now. Literally, I see this with the Eritrean community. I see how they have moved in a great way to get what they need to do. This is the same thing that I see with Somalians, Indians in Uganda. I just see a whole bunch of people moving in the ways of creating their own opportunities with their people. And that is not going to be any different from us. We are going to have to do that because you can't depend on DEI to come, all right? It's already canceled. So again, if you want the people with the black names and even hairstyles, we talked about that before too. You had certain brothers that had dreads and had certain hairstyles and were not able to get jobs. Certain black women were losing employment or threatened to lose employment because they wanted to wear their natural hair. Okay, then where is the black person that comes in that creates the community for black people to express themselves and then make it official or make it where the community can hire them or, and offer those products and services and reinvest back into the community? Where is that? And so we lack those skills. And if we don't get that right, it's not going to matter. These DEI conversations, affirmative action conversations, not going to happen. These white people have had enough. Okay, I can tell you that right now. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.